is Ms Kostal. I'm reading you The Three Bears today by Paul Galdone. Now, this is the front cover, and this is the back cover. Have you ever heard this story before? What happens in the story that you know? If you're with your mom or dad or your brother or sister, tell them about the story you know about the three little bears. Who are the other characters in the story? Can you think of any other characters in the story? If you're with someone, tell them the other characters you know. Okay, the author's name is Paul Galdone, and he has a special way of telling and illustrating the story. Let's read to find out what happens to the three bears. Here's the first page, The Three Bears by Paul Galdone. Okay. Once upon a time, there were three bears who lived together in a house of their own in the woods. Are the three bears like bears in real life? Look at the picture. Do you think these are bears in real life? How are these bears the same as bears in real life? And how are they different? Go ahead and think about that, and if you have someone with you, tell them how they're the same or how they're different. I see that these bears are swinging on swings. Now, real bears don't swing on swings, but the bears are still big, like real bears. So I think the story is fiction. One of them was a little wee bear, one was a middle-sized bear, and the other was a great big bear. They each had a bowl for their porridge. The little wee bear had a little wee bowl. The middle-sized bear had a middle-sized bowl, and the great big bear had a great big bowl. They each had a chair to sit in. The little wee bear had a little wee chair. The middle-sized bear had a middle-sized chair, and the great big bear had a great big chair. And they each had a bed to sleep in. The little wee bear had a little wee bed, and the middle-sized bear had a middle-sized bed, and the great big bear had a great big bed. One morning, the three bears made porridge for breakfast and poured it into their bowls, but it was too hot to eat. So they decided to go for a walk in the woods until it cooled. And while the three bears were walking, now what are you thinking about these three bears so far? What do you think will happen while the three bears are walking? I sense trouble. A little girl named Goldilocks came to their house. Here's Goldilocks. First she looked at the window, and then she peeked through the keyhole. Of course there was nobody inside. So Goldilocks turned the handle of the door. Uh-oh. What are you thinking about Goldilocks so far? Think she's trouble? What's she gonna do next? And what do you think she should do? I don't think that's a very good idea to go in here. The door was not locked because the three bears were trusting bears. They did no one any harm and never thought anyone would harm them. So Goldilocks opened the door and went right in. There was the porridge on the table, and it smelled very, very good. So Goldilocks didn't stop to think whose porridge it was. She went straight to it. Do you think she's doing the right thing? How do you think the bears will feel when they find out about this? First, she tasted the porridge of the great big bear, but it was too hot. Then she tasted the porridge of the middle-sized bear, but it was too cold. Then she tasted the porridge of the little wee bear. It was neither too hot nor too cold, but just right. Goldilocks liked it so much that she ate it all up. Then Goldilocks went into the parlor to see what else she could find. Uh-oh. Do you remember what she might find in here? There were 3 chairs. First she sat down in the chair of the great big bear, but it was too hard. Then she sat down in the chair of the middle-sized bear, but it was too soft. And then she sat down in the chair of the little wee bear. It was neither too hard nor too soft, but just right. Goldilocks liked it so much that she rocked and rocked until the bottom of the chair fell out, and down she went, plump, onto the floor. Goldilocks went into the bedroom where the three bears slept. Uh-oh. First she lay down upon the bed of the great big bear, but it was too high in the head for her. Then she lay down upon the bed of the middle-sized bear, but it was too high at the foot for her. Then she lay down upon the bed of the little wee bear. It was neither too high at the head nor too high at the foot, but just right. Goldilocks liked it so much that she covered herself up and fell fast asleep. Oh no. By this time the three bears thought their porridge would be cool enough, so they came home for breakfast. Goldilocks had left the spoon of the great big bear in his porridge bowl. He noticed it first thing. "Somebody has been tasting my porridge," said the great big bear in his great big bear voice. Goldilocks had left the spoon of the middle-sized bear in her porridge bowl too. "Somebody has been tasting my porridge," said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. Then the little wee bear looked at his bowl. "Somebody has been tasting my porridge and has eaten it all," cried the little wee bear in his little wee voice. Uh-oh, I don't think they like this. And the three bears went into the parlor. Goldilocks had left the cushion crooked in the chair of the great big bear. He noticed it first thing. "Somebody has been sitting in my chair," said the great big bear in his great big voice. Goldilocks had squashed down the cushion of the chair in the middle-sized bear. "Somebody has been sitting in my chair," said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. Then the little wee bear looked at his chair. "Somebody has been sitting in my chair and has sat right through it," cried the little wee bear in his little wee voice. And the three bears went into the bedroom. Poor little wee bear. He cried. What does that tell you? Do you think he's sad? Upset, maybe? What do you think what bears will find in the bedroom? Ooh, I think I remember. Goldilocks had pulled the pillow of the great big bear out of place. He noticed it first thing. "Somebody has been lying in my bed," said the great big bear in his great big voice. Goldilocks pulled the blanket of the middle-sized bear out of place. "Somebody has been laying in my bed," said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. Uh-oh. Then the little wee bear looked at his bed. "Somebody's been laying in my bed, and here she is," cried the little wee bear in her little wee voice. And this woke Goldilocks up at once. And there were the three little bears staring at her. Look at Goldilocks' face. What do you think she's gonna do? Let's find out. Ooh, did you say run away? Goldilocks was so frightened that out she tumbled out of bed and ran to the open window, and out she jumped, and she ran away as fast as she could, never looking behind her. No one knows what happened to Goldilocks after that. As for the three bears, they never saw her again. Okay, now I want you to go over a couple things. That was the end of the story. Who's in the bear family? Think about who's in the bear family. Who is this bear, and this bear, and this bear? And then what did Goldilocks do in the three bears' homes? Do you remember what she did? Do you remember what she did here? And do you remember what she did here? And do you remember what she did here? Now, what do you think of Goldilocks going into these bears' homes? Do you think that was a good idea? Think about that. And if you're with somebody, tell them what you think, if that was a good idea or not. Now, the bears were so surprised to find Goldilocks in their home. How do you think the bears felt? And often old stories like this one have threes in them. What things were there three of in this story? Think about it. There were lots of things that had three of them. Do you think this story could happen in real life? Okay, what I would like you to do is draw a picture from this book that you remember. So draw a picture of something that happened in this book and try to label it. Label it means describing what happened in the picture. If you're not ready yet to write those words, ask your mom or dad or brother or sister to help you write the words on the bottom and put the date on top. And then if you could send the picture to Mrs. Winiger or myself, then we could see what you did. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.